Pickleball is changing. It used to be a slow, soft game, and it still has that aspect, but now this is new pickleball. So over the last many years, pickleball has been a left side dominant sport. That means whoever's on the left is the dominant player, excluding lefties for now, but whoever is on the left side of the court is the dominant player. And the right side guy is just there to dink and make balls and counter and maybe speed up every now and then. That's gone. That's in the past. New pickleball is here, and with it brings a dominant right side player and a dominant left side player. And this matchup is going to be a matchup with only one dominant player every time. I'm sure of that. So let's get into it. All right, so today Riley Newman and I are playing Ben and Collin Johns in Las Vegas. And this is the first point I want us to look at. So, a little bit of dinking. Boom, right there. We can already break down this first point, which is awesome. So let's look what happens with Riley and Ben. Riley dinks behind Ben. Ben goes cross court. And I can already tell that Ben is trying to push Riley off the court with his backhand. And when that happens, that allows me on the right side, this guy over here, to kind of creep over in the middle and look to be aggressive. And there. Right away, I see a ball in the middle of the court that I can take out of the air, and I speed it up, and it's not super fast. It's actually the opposite. It's very slow. And since it's slow, let's see what happens. Since it's slow, Ben and Collin are ready to counter something hard and down. But if I hit it slow and down myself, then that means they have to hit up. And that's exactly what happened in this point. Riley put it away. It's a great point to start off. Let's look at another point here. Riley and I are going to unwind the stack, which means whoever returns is going to switch sides so that we can get on our preferred side. And we'll just follow this point. Decent amount of dinking. I'm looking to be aggressive in the middle, taking that middle ball. I want them to go behind me. Great save there. Solid point from Ben and Collin. Here we go. We're down 3-1 to start. We unwind right here. Good drop shot from Riley. I'm not always a fan of drop volleys, but it works sometimes. So in the past, the player on the left side of the court would come all the way over to the right side to take some high balls for most partnerships. But here, there's a ball kind of in the middle, and I take it with my backhand. This is more on my side. If it's in the middle, Riley should if it's like right in the middle, Riley should 100% take a high ball with his forehand. But in this point, you see Riley take a ball, I take a ball, Riley takes the middle one there and puts it away. So that's what I mean when I say pickleball is changing. This is just one example, but pickleball really is changing to where both the right side player and the left side player can both be alphas, if you will, or not even alphas, but can both be dominant in their own respective role. I mean, before I started doing it, J.W. Johnson and Dylan Frazier were doing it. That's what makes that team such a good team is, J-Dub's awesome on the left, but Dylan Frazier on the right is what makes that team so good. to have Dylan, somebody who can counter very well, somebody who can attack very well, somebody who can push J-Dub over and take a middle dink and be aggressive with it. That's the type of player and team that's taking over pickleball. That's the next generation of pickleball, and I'm just out here trying to improve the right side and perfect it because I've been playing the right. I played the left a decent amount. I actually won a tournament playing the left with Thomas Wilson. We switched a bit, but I played mostly on the left. And since then, I've been playing with partners that prefer the left side. And I know that I can play the right side. And if my partner isn't super comfortable playing the right, it makes more sense for me to play the right. And honestly, it's one of the best things to ever happen to me because by playing the right, I've had a lot of time to figure out the right side. There's not a lot of exceptional players who have played the right side and really worked on maximizing the potential of the right side. More and more players are doing it now. Gabe Tardio is a great example. He takes over on the right side, and that's just a great example of where pickleball is going. I know Hayden Patrickin is another top right side player. Thomas Wilson, one of the guys who I played with, is a great example as well, because when I played the left, when him and I were playing, he would be a dominant right side player. He wasn't just standing there making balls. So that's the next level. That's the next generation of pickleball. That's how pickleball is changing, and I'm hyped for it. And you've got a awesome match today. We're going to look at a lot of this match, and I don't say this lightly, but I think this is the most entertaining match I have ever played. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn some pickleball and be entertained. So we can watch this point. I think this is a good point to show exactly what I was just talking about, how both sides can, do their respective things. Crazy point. That was a crazy hands battle. Here we have Riley taking a lot of the middle dinks. And then that dink was completely middle, and I took it. Riley takes a middle, beautifully speeds up a ball through the middle. But here, right there, you see this middle dink I take. The reason I take this is because once Collin dinks behind Riley, it's kind of my job to pick up the slack, because if Riley has to cover that and now go all the way to the middle just to take a normal dink, he's doing a lot. The left side player would be doing a lot, and that would create holes in the person. And I say holes as far as attackable spots. So right there, a dink middle, which if this was Ben and Collin, Ben would be taking that dink 100% of the time. But I take the dink, and then I cover behind me. There's a dink in the middle that Riley can get to without worrying of leaving opening attacks by taking it. And boom, beautiful down the middle, awesome point. We love pickleball. Here shows Riley and my win percentage 6-1. I think we played nationals at the end of last year, and we came third. This is our second ever tournament. Good point from Ben and Collin. They were aggressive, but okay, here, this is why we're watching this point right there. That was a crazy get. Look at Riley. He swings and misses, and I have his back. We end up losing the point due to a net cord from Ben, but I thought that was a fun point to include. And you can see our win percentage, 6-1. After this tournament, it was 7-8, 8-2. All right, here we go. This point is a super interesting point to watch. It's a strategy that Riley and I have where one person is going to take the third and the next person is going to crash. When I played with Quang Duong, he was taking all of the thirds and I was crashing. He would come all the way over on my side just to hit a forehand, and I would have to run around the court and then crash. And I'd basically have to like go in the light green or outside the actual court just to get out of his way and get to the net. And Riley and I do something very similar. So we get a little lucky, but let's just look at where I'm hitting. Look at where I make contact with this third. I'm hitting a forehand because my forehand's better than my backhand, and we want me to take the third so that Riley can crash. And I get a little lucky with the net, but you'll see that doesn't always happen. And look where I am. Like, I'm completely off the court. I don't know how this strategy works, to be honest. I don't think it's a great strategy, but it's cool to watch. We get lucky. He tries to go, Collin tries to go to the open court, but he can't due to the weirdness of the ball. Riley puts it away. Let's watch the next point. Okay, same thing. So they return to Riley's forehand. I'm going to run around my backhand and his forehand to hit my forehand, to drop it. And now you can see, look at where Ben is hitting it. He wants to go to the open court right over here, because when I hit it, I'm off the court. I'm like in this area right here as I'm hitting the ball, but then and that makes the whole right side seem very open. The whole right side of the court seem very open, but it only takes me 2 steps to get to the line. I have an easy ball that I can kind of put away. And now we're at 6-3, we're taking the lead, 7-3. Let's watch the next point too. The same thing happens, and I miss a third. So I just wanted you guys to see that I don't make that shot every time. Let's keep going. So now it's 3-7. Look at that. That was a crazy point. Let's just watch the whole point again. And look to see how the speed up starts. I take a flick from the middle to start that. I thought the point was over right here. I actually stopped. And it kept going. Look. Right. It's so funny. Great point. So I do this right here. I'm like, okay, it's over. He gets it back, and I'm so surprised. It's a good thing he didn't hit it to me. Riley, man. Riley's got some of the best hands in the game. Look at these guys. Whew. That was a huge point. That was it was a big point. Let's watch this next point right here. This point's going to be a little bit more dinking. Look at them. They slowly move to the net. Ben and Collin do. I'm looking to be aggressive in the middle. Ben hits behind me. You'll notice Ben does not hit a lot of balls to me. Like, Ben hits most of his balls cross court unless he takes a forehand in the middle. Like a dink forehand in the middle, Ben will take that behind the person on the right. Just what an awesome point. That was a lot of fun. So here we go. We'll see what happens when I come over to the middle a little too much. Boom, awesome point. So let's break this down. So Riley hits a ball cross court. Ben naturally goes cross court with his dink. Riley pops this up, and because I'm standing in the middle of the court, Ben wants to go behind me, but at the same time, it's a good shot if my only counter was my backhand counter, but I'm very comfortable countering with my forehand as well. So he goes behind me, and I'm ready. I don't think he was ready for me to make it, and Riley does a great job of cleaning up the point. Here's another entertaining point. I mean, this match is just so entertaining. I mean, look at that. Oh. So Riley, this was crazy. So this is a good thing. As Riley's hitting the ball, I'm already moving forward to be aggressive. Ben counters, gets a net cord, and it barely goes over. Let's put it in slow-mo. I get there, but I nick this little bar right here, barely, which you'll see the ref was like about to say it, but we lost the point, so it didn't really matter. Riley thought he lost the point with a high forehand. You can see it here too. Like I barely touched that. Would have been a crazy cool point if everything went our way. It didn't. As a right side guy, I like to be aggressive, taking the middle when I can, if it's there. But here's an example of me coming over too far on the third. We want me to take the thirds, but right here, I should have let Riley take this, but I'm kind of used to taking some of those, and that's the downfall of having me taking thirds on his side with like my forehand and sometimes my backhand. I don't hit the best third, and we're just down. We're down in this point the whole time. Are you ready for this? Right here. Best point in the match. No, I think it was a bad bounce. I aced Ben. But I'm pretty sure it was because of bad bounce. We were playing on pickle roll courts in Vegas, in a ballroom. We were indoors at the Fontainebleau Hotel. It was pretty awesome, to be honest. The only caveat was that the courts were, I'd say not regulation, like standard regulation, but I guess they work since we played a professional tournament. Not only a professional tournament, but a 1500. PPA tournaments are 1000s, 1500s, and 2000s. 2000s are slams, 1500s are cups, and 1000s are just opens. And this was a 1500, so this is a tournament that everyone plays. Not everyone plays all the thousands, but everyone plays the 1500s and the 2000s. So those are the tournaments where it's hardest to win and place. So this is a point I want to watch. It shows the positioning, what I think the ideal positioning should be for a team. So look how Riley and I are both standing pretty close to each other. I take a middle ball, a high middle ball. I'm ready for the forehand counter. We win the point. But let's watch it again and I just really want to break down all these dinks. So Riley hits a ball over here, goes behind Ben. I could already tell. I let Riley take the middle ball just because he's kind of in position. Let him take that one. And right here, this is a ball I could let Riley take. But Riley was ready for Ben to dink it cross court, which made him take a small step to his left. So if Riley were to take this forehand middle dink, it would have to bounce, he'd have to take a step back, and he would be hitting it like over here and just making us a little bit out of position. So what I can do is I can lean in from the right side. I can lean in from the right side and kind of just, instead of us being out of position, now they're out of position. Look at where Collin's hitting this thing. He's hitting it way behind him. Gets a great dink back, but now look at that. Look at where Collin is standing and look at where Riley and I are standing. This is what you want on a team. You want both your guys at the kitchen line as much as possible. You don't want to be back, because the second you're back means I can dink right here, and now you have a much harder dink and a much harder dink to get down. I go behind Ben again. They get back to they get back to the kitchen line. As you can see, Riley's pushed back a little bit by a good dink and hits a little bit of a high dink. You can tell already that Ben is going to attack yours truly, and I'm ready for it. Yeah. Once again, I sit on the backhand counter for the most part, which means I'm ready for a backhand counter. Like, we can see my paddle positioning. That's so cool. This is so cool. Look at this. He attacks. I literally go like this to hit the attack. I realize that it's coming to my right side and I won't be able to go like here. So I'm like, pow, pow. Like, that's awesome. And because Ben's hitting it from a low position, it means he can't hit it super hard. Because if Ben had that high up, like a foot above the net, he would be able to hit that very hard at me, taking away the time. But since he went from low to high, I had the time. This is what he does super well in mixed doubles, is he hits that spot. And usually girls are sliding with their backhand, and if they decide to slide and commit to their backhand, they're like here. And if your body's turned, it's a lot harder to move your whole body to hit a forehand. But if I'm just standing straight like this, it's a lot easier for me to just move if I'm here, it's a lot easier for me to just go like boom, rather than, you get it? Awesome point. All right, here, right now, Riley and I are up 10-5 in the first, and we're going to crash and drive. We do this almost every time. You look at the positioning I'm hitting this third at. I'm way off the court, and look what happens. Honestly, that's just a great shot from Collin, because I want to go. I want to drive at Collin because Collin's coming to the net. So Collin's returning and he's coming to the net, which means you almost always want to return at the person coming to the net. But what Collin did here was he hit a lofty type return, and honestly, that's a really good return. Is when you hit it slow and high. Look at that. You see like a slow and high and deep return. It's not bad because it gives you time. It gives Collin time to get to the net. Whereas if he would have hit a fast, short return, he would probably be here, like a step back or a second farther back, which matters a ton. Which allows him to hit it a little bit more in position. Goes behind Riley because Riley's looking to take the middle ball, as Riley should. Good shot from Collin. So here's the next point. 10-5-2. So our game point number 2. We want to win this game. We don't want to give them a chance to come back. Nice little counter. Let's watch it again. Boom. So look at this. So this ball lands way over here. I don't mind Ben taking that, but when Ben takes this ball, when Ben from the left side takes this, look at how much of his line is open. And it's different than me giving up a ton of the line, because my forehand, if my body is straight, like if I'm facing forward, my forehand's here. My backhand is here. I've got to turn my body. So it's actually a lot harder to get a backhand than it is to get a forehand. I mean, if you use your left hand, then you don't need to turn as much, because then you can kind of stay a little bit more open if needed. Anyway, I mean, Riley hits a superhero speed up right at Collin. Collin comes at my body, and we win the point. Nice first game. All right, this point right here. This point shows how pickleball is changing. So it's the first point of the match. I mean, look where I'm standing. I'm standing way over here. The second I see Ben wind up with a backhand, I know it's a possibility he can go to my right. So I take a step back and recover. He doesn't go behind me. Riley's still covering middle. See, I'm taking these middle dinks right here. Look at where I hit this ball. I mean, I'm basically, I could slap Riley in the butt if I wanted to right here. And like the way football players do. That's how close I am to the middle, and that's how much of the court I'm taking. I attack down the line. I hit a winner. Great first point. Let's watch this next point. So yeah, I'm taking the third with my backhand. Good drop. very ambitious Ernie. We actually recover from it and lose the point. Cool point though, cool point. Here's another, this whole video is about how pickleball's changing and how the right side players taking more of the court. I mean, Riley is an amazing left side player, and it has nothing to do with me wanting to take more middle balls so he doesn't have to. But we lose this point, but just the positioning, like I'm helping Riley out. When Riley moves over, I move over with him. If I move to the right, Riley's gonna move to the left with me, and it helps us be more in sync. You see Ben where he's hitting the shot, Collin standing right here. If this was reversed, nothing wrong with their style of play. I mean, it's helping us beat them. I know they're working on Collin being more aggressive, which they should. And the reason they haven't done that is because they haven't lost for 2 years. So if I wasn't losing, I wouldn't change anything either. But now that people are starting to figure out the game and the game is advancing, they need to change with the game, and that's what they're doing. But as I was saying, Ben hits this Ernie. If I was Collin, man, I would be standing right here. Like he backs up, like, because it's Ben's job after hitting that to take the middle. Whereas that's the difference between a team like Riley and I and a team like Ben and Collin, where Ben is doing 80% of the work, whereas Riley's probably doing 60% of the work max. Let's watch this point too. You'll see what they do is Ben and Collin, they're hitting almost every ball to Riley. And if they hit a ball like dead center middle, that's still kind of to Riley. And what I try and do is I try and pinch the middle and I try and help him out. Beautiful lob from Riley. I think he misses that. The sun got in his eyes, so no worries there. All right, here we go. Another great point to break down. I mean, there's just so many great points to break down in this match. Like, I hope you like pickleball and I hope you're enjoying this video. Yeah. No. It's tough. It's tough point. Let's kind of see what happened. I tried to speed up one of these balls. I think it was this one. Yeah, I speeded up, and I speeded up off pace, slow, right to Ben's forehand. I mean, was I aiming there? I think I was. I kind of hit his right hip, maybe a little bit too far to the right, which allowed him to get a forehand on it. But since it was slow, he hits it high up. The ball that Riley just hit right here. The ball that Riley hit was going way out. Then we get a net cord and lose the point. The next point, we take a timeout. We're now down 3-0. We get another unlucky net cord. So Ben and Collin are coming back in the second game, up 4-0. All right, before we go anywhere, I just want to say that you see all these paddles. I know you guys love these paddles and you comment on them all the time. So if you want one of these paddles, all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel and subscribe to the newsletter. There's a link in the bio. It's completely free. The newsletter, it's completely free and has tips and just anything you guys want. I want to help you guys out, so make sure to go check that out. Also, really quick, I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers. This is awesome. I mean, the community that we've built here on YouTube, it means so much to me, and not just YouTube, but Instagram, Twitter, all the socials. It means so much to me to really have a community with you guys. Like when I'm at tournaments, you guys come up to me and I love talking to you, and it's awesome to see people really care about the sport. I mean, from where I was a few years ago to where I'm at now, It's a dream come true, and because of that, when I get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to have a big announcement, and it's going to be awesome, and it's something I should have done a while ago. Make sure you stick around and be ready for that. We're gonna get there hopefully soon. Back to the match. So we were down 5-0. And now it's 2-5. We're serving. We got a couple missed returns, and I crash. Boom. So you'll see here that Riley dropped it to Ben's backhand. Let's even go. We'll just break it down. Riley drops it to Ben's backhand. I kind of go to the middle, and then I think Ben wanted to speed this up behind me because I was kind of moving middle, but I realized that Ben had a good ball to take behind me. So I move a little bit to my right, and then he changes his mind, goes middle, but I'm still kind of standing in the middle, so I can just boom, counter that, and then take one step over and put a high ball away. Great point. Now it's 3-5. Let's watch this point. And Riley and I, what we're trying to do is what I refer to and what I think Dave Fleming and the commentators refer to as new pickleball. And new pickleball is just a lot of driving and crashing, and that's exactly what we do these next few points. So I drive, Riley crashes, and we win the point. Boom, 4-5. The next point, and it doesn't need to be a drive, it can just be a drop and a crash, and that's exactly what happens. Is Riley drops, we both crash. Riley speeds up at Collin, gets a little lucky, but we'll take it. Look at this replay. It hits his right shoulder. It's a great spot. 5-5. Oh, unlucky. Let's watch this next point as well. Great return from them. 5-5. We came back from 5-0 on this serve. So this is exactly what just happened at the start of these few points. Is I was running to the middle, and Ben had this ball here. The last time I covered the middle, last time I covered the line because I thought he was gonna go line and he went middle. So this time I'm covering the middle because he went middle, but I still should have covered my line. I thought I was covering it a decent amount, but I was reaching, and it was the risk of crashing middle. So I should have crashed more I should have covered my line once I saw that Ben had a high ball off the court, or at the edge of the court. All right, so this is very interesting. Ben and Collin are up 6-5, and look what Ben and Collin do here. So Collin drives, and Ben kind of crashes. And the funny thing is that this is a team that has almost never drives and crashes, just never, because once again they haven't needed to. They can win without doing that. And there's not really a reason to do that if you're winning and you don't need to do it. But now that they're playing against different teams and they haven't won a tournament since the first 3 tournaments. They just won. I'm recording this a day after the Atlanta Slam. They won the Atlanta Slam. Good for them. They beat Riley and I in the semis. Little bittersweet. It's tough that we play them in the quarters, we beat them, but we play them in the semis, we lose. I'd rather win in the semis to get to the finals, but who cares? Anyway, this match isn't about last tournament. It's about this tournament. Anyway, you'll see the reason this drive and crash doesn't work is because as Collin's hitting the third, Ben's basically back here. Ben needs to be a whole step, a whole big step further front, because now he's here instead of here, and he kind of hesitates on whether to take this ball, and he takes it, loses the point. But it's, I don't know if cool, but it's interesting to see Ben and Collin start to adjust their game as needed. So here's a point. I think we end up losing this point, but Ben and Collin are up 7-5. A little bit of a firefight. This whole match is entertaining. Right there. Like, we get a good ball off this speed up. I think we lose it. Yeah, he misses. But off this one. So you see, it's very low, but Ben's kind of off the court. Collin takes a step back, which means I can hit this off pace middle to get a high ball. And we don't capitalize on that. But it's all good. So now we're down 8-5. So we're down 8-5. Let's see what happens here. Nice speed up from Riley. So we got a point, 6-8, and keeping with, you know, the theme of driving and crashing, Riley drives with his forehand, which he's getting better at, and I can attack with my backhand. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's such a good feeling. It's one of the best feelings in the world when you're on the right and you come over and you can just hit a ball with your backhand and take it down. It's not a lot of people can do it, but if you practice it, I promise it doesn't need to be an amazing shot. None of those backhands were great. If you just have it, if you just apply pressure, if you just hit the ball at the right side player, they're going to, you know, get a little tight and like be ready for a really good ball. So if you just hit it at them, they're probably not going to be super ready to counter it. So I think just applying pressure, making them play is the key to being aggressive off your partner's thirds. Let's watch the next point. So I hit a big third. I run around. Look how far over I'm hitting. This is crazy. Look how far over I'm hitting this third. I know we've already talked about it, but to be honest, this is not the smartest strategy. I don't know. Collin should just hit this ball right there every time. That's just, like, I'm gonna be there, but it's gonna be tough for me. I think he tries to do that. I think he does try to do that, but I'm so far out of position on that third. It's just not a good strategy, but Riley and I are making it work for the time being. So 8-8, we're making a little bit of a comeback. Boom, I drive, Riley crashes, just textbook. Now we're up 9-8. So here, I think, is exactly what I said they should do. Boom, Ben does it. We get unlucky with the net cord, but it's like I said. So even though I'm all the way off the court and Ben hits it behind me, like, I'm ready for that, and I know all I need to do is get it down. I don't get it. See, it's tough for me because, like, I hit that kind of high, and I'm out of position, so Riley's maybe covering for me a little bit, but Riley was on that counter. But it hit the top of the net. We get unlucky, and we lose a huge point. That would have been 10-8. That would have given us a match point. So that was a tough loss. But so let's watch the very next point. Ben and Collin slowly move to the net. Ben dinking almost exclusively to Riley. I'm not really getting much of a ball. There we go. So he goes to me to go behind me, which is smart, to keep me kind of on my own side. It's a long dinking point, probably one of the longest points we had. So look at this. So we get a free point, and we're sorry, but the thing is, they've gotten way more net cords than we have in this game. It all can't. In the long run, it all can. In the long run, it all cancels out. If somebody gets more net cords than the other one, it's because, you know, they hit maybe like a lower margin shot than most people. So 8-9. ATP defense. Yeah, that was tough. I hit this drive and Collin kind of shanks it, but that's a smart shot. If I'm all the way back here and you can get it low, it doesn't need to be a drop shot, because a drop shot means you're like hitting up on it and it's slow and it's like it gives me time to react. But this was kind of just like a bunt, like a short ball. Very smart, made it tough for me to get up, and now Ben and Collin have the 9-9. Here we go, 9-9-1. We have the ball again, we're serving. This is not a team you want to go to 3 games with. We want to end it right here. And you see a little bit of miscommunication on that third. And I mean, we get, thankfully we get neutral and we're in the point. And just a missed dink, but like I really think that missed dink, because we like Riley's missed like one dink this whole match. I think that derived from right here, the return. So Riley and I have an understanding that I take this middle third. If it goes to his forehand, if it goes to his backhand, he'll take it. But the problem is, it's like that's a fine line. So when somebody hits a return, that's like in this area, there's kind of a mix-up. I think he just forgot for a moment, because I know it happens to me all the time. Like when we're playing, I'll just forget I'm supposed to take that ball, because it's so unconventional for me to run around the left side of the court to hit a forehand, especially after playing with a partner like Huang, where I take almost no thirds unless it's way over here. So it's just a weird dynamic, and then you know what happens is we end up losing this point. Here we go, game point for Ben and Collin. I hit a deep return, and I think honestly I lose the ball behind Riley a little bit. It was middle. I thought he was gonna take it. It's tough because Riley's trying to cover behind him. And I miss it in the net. What I think I did is I think I was way too slow getting to the net. This is something that I need to work on. Something I want to work on for myself, and telling you guys is awesome. So when you are unwinding the stack, I want you to, you know, hit the return, move through the return, like hit it and move through it. I didn't really move through it, but I'm trying to hit a good return. And if you move through it too much, you can kind of lose your balance, or you can kind of move away from where you're trying. Because if I let's just say if I hit a return, if I'm on the right side and I hit a return down the line and I'm moving to the left, that's bad, because my paddle face will open up and I'll be kind of off balance. So if I'm hitting return down the line, I need to hit through it and move through the ball towards where I'm hitting the ball, towards where I'm aiming, which would be down the line if I'm on the right. Which means if I hit down the line through the ball, now I need to go straight and then pivot and go to the left. But what I want to work on is, after hitting the return, and if I'm unwinding, hit that and just book it. Like I'm so slow. I'm so slow moving there, but I think I was slow switching sides because I thought I had a lot of time. Like that was like 100%. That was the reason. Like I see that I hit a really good return. I'm like, oh, I have time. So I'm just like, oh, I see that I have time, and I take a bunch of small little steps, like right there, like, take 2 big steps and then take small steps. Because if I would have taken the small steps like here rather than here, I would have had, you know, time to react. Anyway, we lose game 2. That's not good. You don't want to go to 3 with you know, the second best team in the world right now, as per this ranking. So, yeah, game 3. I mean, if you're still watching, if you're enjoying this video right now, click pause, like the video. It would mean a ton to me. I mean, yeah, just consider liking the video. That's all. Let's watch the third game. This third game is going to be so exciting. You don't want to miss it. The third game is the most exciting game I have played to date, and I believe that. Let's go. So we're up 1-0. Usually I watch a match and I pick a select few points. I just absolutely pured that drive. But usually I pick a select few points to pick out from a match that I analyze. But this match, there were just so many points that were entertaining that even though we're like analyzing new pickleball and like talking about new pickleball, how pickleball is changing, there's just so many points to include. So that's why this video is so long, because I think it's such an entertaining match. I mean, this whole time I've been talking, we've been having an absolute battle of a point, and I miss it. I missed the speed up. It was there though. No, Ben was kind of covering it. So here we go, another point. You can see, Ben and Collin slowly move in. Great defense. Oh, this is nice overhead. I'm not a fan of drop shots in pickleball, just to be honest. And that's a really tough counter because it was coming like off speed. So usually if I was ready for a hard, see, Collin hit an awkward shot, which made it come slower than I was expecting, which made me hit an awkward shot, which is proof that off-pace speed-ups are super effective. They really are, because people anticipate speed. So if you change up the speed, then people's anticipation will be off. All right, here we go. We're down 3-1 in the third. That's not good. I see a high ball in the middle. I take it. Riley ends the point. Great speed up from Riley. Let's look at this. So Riley goes to the right side of Collin's body, and Collin's ready for the backhand. You can see, like me, Collin's paddle is here, but Collin had time to move to his forehand. But the thing is, Riley kept his speed up low on Collin, which made for a ball that comes up, and Riley can put it away. So that's why when you attack, if you can attack and get it down, that's super important. Like, super important. This is a team, Ben and Collin, that you want to attack first. You don't want to get all dinky with them. You don't want them to attack. You want to be the one to attack. That's exactly what we did here. So Riley is a super aggressive player. Loves to attack that low backhand. And right there, boom. He attacks the next one he gets right here. The second he gets a ball, attacks Collin in a different spot. So the time before, he went to Collin's forehand, but now he went to his backhand, but he kept it low, which was good, because that means if Riley hits it low, Collin can't hit down on it. His only option is either to go up or through. Collin did a good job of countering through the ball, but I'm ready in the middle with my two hands, and we win the point right here. Boom, boom, boom. That was a big point. Now it's 3-3. We can see this point again. So Riley's attacked Collin a few times. That's our strategy. Nice reset. Yeah. See, that's the risk when you attack somebody. He gets a high ball. The only thing about this attack is that it was right at the body of Collin, and that's where Collin is sitting with his backhand. He sits with his paddle here so that he can go like boom. So that means you want to attack the chicken wing or make him reach, because if you just go right to him, you see what happens. Couple good resets, great point from Collin. And now it's 3-3-1 for them. So here's something that you guys can do for your partners is Right there, boom. And we win the point with a speed up. But in this case, Ben hits a big serve to Riley. I can tell that Riley's maybe not going to be there. Riley hits a short return off of a big serve. Ben has a forehand that I know he's going to rip, most likely at the player coming to the net, which is Riley. So what I do is I cover my partner. Boom. Riley probably would have hit a good shot, but Riley's moving and has to hit a tough ball, whereas I'm kind of more set, and it's easier for me to just block. I don't hit a great block, to be honest, but and then Ben was ready for me to speed up to his backhand. I go middle. We win the point. This next point is interesting, to say the least. So it's 3-3 right now in the third. We switch sides at 6. You want to end the switch ahead. You want to switch sides at 6. You want to be the one ahead at the switch because, ooh, I let it bounce and I miss it. Oh, what a terrible shot. Riley hits a phenomenal lob. The worst part is Riley said it's in, but I was like, nah, it looks like it's gonna land pretty close to the line. And then as it bounces, I saw Ben take a few steps, which literally just scares you. If you see somebody like moving in, it's just scary, and that's why the driving crash works so well. But I saw him take a few steps, which made me think, oh, I need to hit a much better shot than I actually do, and I miss it way out. You can see where it lands right here. I mean, look at my defense. Like, look at that. Do you see where that landed? Like, I thought this was gonna land out. It was like right on the line. So let's look at this next point. Great job from Bet. We'll even look at this point. So this is the benefit of having a left guy to take over right here, is having Ben hit a forehand all the way over there and boom, winner through the middle. I have no problem with that. I think that's a great strategy. I think Riley can do that with me. But my 2 cents about the new pickleball is that I can do that to Riley. I think both sides can be the one to take that high ball. Like if the situation was reversed and Ben was a little bit back, Collin's at the net. If Collin can take a few steps over and take a ball out of the air and help his brother out, like they're gonna be so much better of a team. So here's another entertaining point. We're down 5-3, but we're serving at 3-5. We struggled to get to the net. You'll notice Riley does this speed up a lot where it's low. It's basically like the backhand flick, but he does it with 2 hands. And you can just see that Collin is more than ready for an attack at him and crushes it. Ben finishes the job. We want to attack, and that's why changing up the spots is so important. If Riley's maybe gone to the right shoulder like 2 or 3 times, Collin knows like, hey, the ball's coming here, I'll be ready for it. So what Riley could do, I mean, this is like knowing, this is knowing what your opponent does. It's very easy to know what to do. But Riley could take this across Collin's body and hit it like over here to his like left shoulder, because it's really hard to hit a scorpion here. It's easy to hit a scorpion like above your, like in this area. It's hard to do this. So now we're down 5-3. They're serving, skipping a couple points here and there, but that's just because this match is so long. Trying to be aggressive. Like, great job for Riley for being there. The second I get a ball that's even high, like any type of height, is I want to be aggressive. I want to be the one to start the firefight. I want to be aggressive. I want to start it on my own terms. And that's exactly what I do here. And kudos to me for having a solid partner who can help me finish the job. So now it's 3-5-1. So we won a couple points, 5-5. This is to switch sides at 6-5-1, which would be huge after, being down 5-3. Great hands from Riley. I mean, I counter from like mid-court, which isn't super smart because now it goes up. Like if I'm halfway to the baseline, I need to hit up on the ball, which means Ben can just hit down on the ball. But Riley had some great hands, and you can't teach a lot of like some of the best players. It's just instinct. There's just a lot of instinct going on, and it's really hard to break down like how we won that point because I don't think we win that point more than 3 out of 10 times. But we switch at 6-5, which is huge for us. So now it's 8-5. We've won a couple points. We were down 5-3. We've won 5 points in a row. I drive. Riley crashes 9-5. That's huge. It's huge. And Ben takes a timeout. All right, here we go. 5-9-1. The Johns are serving. The final stretch of the match. We're being aggressive. Riley's picking a good spot. I'm taking the middle. I'm not getting many balls, but Collin will dink to me, so I like dinking to Collin because I know I'll get a ball back in return. What a get. Collin does a good job of holding his ground and taking dinks out of the air. He doesn't speed it up a ton. Oh, speed up to Ben's backhand. He's ready, but I'm also ready. This is a crazy point. Oh, and then I attack through the middle and Ben is there. The thing is, that's worked. That shot has worked a ton throughout this match. I think because earlier this point, I had this same ball and I went to the backhand. I thought he was going to be expecting the backhand again. So I went middle, and I think he was expecting I think he was ready for anything. I think he was kind of ready for the backhand, but since I was far back, he had so much time to change. He had so much time to adjust and hit a forehand that I'm not upset at it. I'm not. Great dink. Oh, see, that's tough. Like, we lose a point off of that. Riley hits a great shot. Ben's so far off the court. He's so far off the court, if I take this ball and I roll it right here, like I've done so many times, we're gonna win this point a lot. And I miss it. It's just, that's an execution problem, not a strategy problem. And, strategy is only like half of it. Execution is the other half. And that's why we drill and that's why we train. Wow, great hands. That was a big point. So great counter from Collin. Collin's ready for these speed ups more than usual, or I don't know. He's ready for these speed ups. Riley does a great job of getting it down cross court. Allows me to make a move for a backhand earning winner. Big point. Big point. We needed that. Look at that get from Riley. I mean, he got himself into that situation, but he got himself out of that situation too. I mean, these points are so big. Man, I would forehand dink cross court all day, man. If I could, I love dinking cross court with my forehand, but the thing is, I love speeding up that forehand. And that went in, we got a little lucky. But like I said, I love speeding up that forehand. The second, there's so many ways to be aggressive with that forehand. Why would I Why would I dink my forehand over and over and over again when I know when I get a forehand, I have like six spots. I can go across the person in front of me. I could go at their backhand to the person in front of me. I could go at their body. I probably won't, but I could go hard at their body. That's a little risky because some people usually sit and counter for their body. But if you change it up, it's good to go across their body to the chicken wing. It's good to go out wide, reaching for them. Cross court, you can go to the person. You can attack the person across from you. You can go to their chicken wing. You can go through the middle, so it's to their backhand. You can go right at their body. Like, there's just so many shots to do with that forehand that I can't justify dinking over and over again. It's just there's too many opportunities. Let's keep going. Little lucky there, but we got unlucky with the net cords a lot in the second game, so it's like I said, it cancels out. And we got another one. Like, we must have got 5 against us in the second game, and here it is canceling out. 10-7, our serve. Match point number 1. Flying Ernie from Collin. This was tough because I see that Collin is so outside the court, and I want to drive to his like chicken wing, if you will. So I hit exactly where I want to, but since he was so far off the court, I missed it. Yeah, see, look at that. Nice, Ernie. Yeah. All right, here we go. Match point number 2. A little bit of a high third. Just the tension right now. It gets more tight too, not to spoil at this point, but how do we lose this point? Oh, I remember. So you can see I'm taking a lot of these middle dinks from Collin right there because Riley's covering his line, which is smart. Oh, I missed that. It was open. Nobody went for it. Look at this replay. I missed this shot by like 2 inches. This is match point right here. Look at that. Oh, I missed it by an inch. That would have been the match. If we would have lost this, not to spoil it, but I just did. I'm just not a fan of the drop shot. Like, it would have been harder to hit a better drop shot here. It would have been harder because it hit the net cord. Great attack from Riley. Oh, wow. Okay, so now it's 7-10. Riley loses his balance off this, pops it up, misses the ball, no sweat. But now it's 8-10. You don't want to let this team come back. You have an opportunity to close the match. You want to close it. Great dink. Riley and I doing a really good job of just communicating with that middle ball, knowing who's going to take it, because sometimes there's a lot of confusion with that middle ball and who should take it. And here we are dinking. I know I'm going to give Riley, the initial right to take most middle dinks. But the thing is, if I'm on the right and I take a middle dink, right there, like that one exactly, it's not really a question. Like, I assert myself. I don't hesitate, like, should I take this middle dink? It's like, I am taking this middle dink. Like, right there, I am taking that middle dink. It's not should I. And you can just tell, I don't mind that speed up either. But if I'm going to lose this match, I'm going to lose this on my terms. I'm going to lose this by speeding up when I want to speed up. And I've done that twice now. In the match point we had, I sped up, I missed it by an inch. That point, I sped up, I got a dead dink, and I sped up to a spot I was happy speeding up to. Again, this much of it hit the tape. I mean, it's these moments like, okay, well, good Ernie from, or good ATP from Ben there. Riley hits a little too far out wide dink. We lose that. And it's 10-10. Like, it's 10-10 in the third. I get a lot of questions about how do you stay, like, mentally in it, and like what do you think about, and how do you stay relaxed, and like how do you like keep playing at a high level. And it's just about, it's honestly just telling yourself to be relaxed. Wow, it's just about telling yourself to be relaxed. If you want me to talk more about that, maybe make a completely separate video of the techniques, the sports psychology techniques I use to help myself calm down, to get fired up, let me know in the comments what video you'd like to see, or any video in general. If you have any preference, let me know, and I can see what I can do. So you saw this point, 10-10. Ben misses a third. So the reason that they lost this point, Ben and Collin, is because what I believe is Collin drives this. Ben should be crashing this drive. But Ben kind of just takes a couple steps because he's not used to crashing. He sees there's a ball that he can crash off of, and just because he's late, the ball drops, he misses. Like, I know that they're gonna get a lot better at driving and crashing, and when that happens, they're gonna be a much scarier team than they are now. So I'm thankful for that point that they're not familiar with doing it. So 10-10, we're serving. I take the, we like that point though. We like that point. I take the third, Riley crashes. I'm taking my time. Don't want to have a sweaty grip. Get to the net. Oh, Ben, look at what happens. So Ben runs around to hit this. I forgot. Hit this inside out dink. And his left foot is right here as he's hitting this, and it doesn't get down in time. It didn't really matter because I put the ball away. There we go. So this is now match point number 3. They're out of challenges. Ben wanted to challenge it. It didn't matter. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Hands are sweating. 11-10. Let's go! That was hype. Yeah, I said some words to Ben after this match. Not the nicest words I've ever said, but I was upset at something he had done in a previous match, and I was a little rude. I found him the next day, and I apologized to him, and he was fine with it. I mean, we're both guys. I get over things quickly. I'm sure he gets over things quickly too. So anyway, that was a really fun match to watch. I love breaking down matches I've won. It's so much more fun than breaking down matches I've lost. Last week I did an analysis of playing Ben and Anna Lee in the finals of Bristol, Tennessee, where they absolutely destroyed us, and that's tough. That was a tough match to watch. It was a tough match to break down, but I want to try and have a good balance of breaking down matches I've won, breaking down matches I've lost. I think you can learn so much more from the matches you lose. See, I broke down this match. Like, this is a perfect example. Riley and I won this match, and as I'm breaking it down, I'm kind of like, oh, look at this good thing we did. Look at this good thing we did. And I'm not really looking at what Riley and I could be doing better right now. That's kind of crazy that I watched this whole match and I didn't really see too many things that we could do better. I kind of was just looking at the things that we did that worked, which is fair because we won. But at the same time, if we would have lost this match like 11-8 in the third, I would have been like, what point? Like, what in the third game? What points did we give up? Like, those 2 points, where was it? Like, what did we do wrong? What can I do better? It's that mentality of there's a saying, it's like when you win, you party, when you lose, you ponder. So, when people win, they're like, yeah, we did it, let's go. And when you lose, you're like, you think about it. You think about what you could have done better. And I'm recording this a day after the Atlanta Slam, so I've got a lot of pondering to do about losing. And if you like this video, I've made a lot like it, so be sure to check them out. Next week, I'm going to be doing an analysis of one of the matches from Atlanta. If there's any match specifically that you want me to break down, leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the newsletter to win a free paddle. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.